back right now with another live stream. In this live stream, I'll be doing the first build, and we're going to be using the Ryzen 7 5800X. 5800X, I'm sorry about it. And this processor is really good, especially if you're planning to do some gaming, live streaming, or even doing some video editing. So here we have the B550M Pro P from Gigabyte or AROS, and next we have the Thermaltake 850 watt power supply, and the reason why I really like this is because it has an RGB as well. So we're going to be using for the CPU cooler a Corsair, specifically H100i ARGB Pro XT. So this liquid cooler, AUA cooler, is really nice if you're looking for a nice performance and nice cooling. So without further ado, let's begin. So for the first step, we're going to be using this motherboard, and we're going to be opening this. So let's open it. By the way, we have the B320L cooler master case as well. I forgot to mention that. So let's begin. So here we have the AROS B550M Pro P motherboard, and it's really nice, and it's around $160 or $180 Canadian, but with tax it was around $110. So let's begin. But this motherboard doesn't have Wi-Fi built into it, so we're going to be using an PCIe Wi-Fi from Kudi, which is a Wi-Fi 6 card. So let's get started. So let's see.
Put this here, and we open this motherboard.
So before we put into the PC case itself, we're going to be putting in the CPU and the RAM. And yeah, let's go from there.
So we have the CPU right here. We're going to be opening this processor. I recently opened it and checked if everything was good. So in the box, there's only the processor itself and just some warranty stuff inside by AMD. So let's see.
So here it is, guys, the Ryzen 7 5800X, 8-core and 16-thread processor, which is really nice. So it was really hard to get this though, since it's out of stock, or like they're kind of overpriced as well. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's slowly open this. It has a really nice protection on this plastic.
So you gotta be careful with this part. Never touch this part, guys. Never touch this part, because if you break one pin, it's not gonna work. So we're gonna slowly open this bracket and go all the way like this, and we're gonna find an arrow on the processor itself.
It is a little complicated, but here we have the arrow here. You guys probably see there's two dots as well, so that's where we're going to put in the CPU. And go slightly in there.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to mention there was an SSD. I didn't see it quite well. And there's a 32GB RAM by Viper. So we're gonna...
The processor itself just goes slightly like that.
So in order for you to go to 5000 series processors, you'll have to update the motherboard itself to 5000 series. So if you guys want to see that video, I already made a video about it. I'm going to post that right after this live stream. So now let's slowly push this and down the processor itself. So here I'm going to pull up. So this is how it should look like. Right, now we're going to be slowly putting this back, and
we're going to be opening this RAM. So this is a Viper 32GB 3600 MHz memory, and it's really nice. It has nice piece into it. So I'm going to open this slowly, and this is how it comes. Here it is.
32GB RAM, which is plenty for video editing. It should work.
As well, but this is like a lot of RAM speed, so we can slowly take this out one by one and put it here for now, and then the second one out. So here it is, the Viper.
32 gigabyte RAM. It's two 16 gigabyte. You'll slowly open this to places and like this. 1, 2, and then we're gonna skip this one, and we're gonna go to the third one. So it'll be A1, B1, and do the same thing here. B2, A2.
So we're gonna slowly place this back here, and then like this, we're gonna be putting these gently on the spot. So we gotta make sure that we are putting this in the right way, so we don't have problems. And then we have a little push, and it should make that sound. And yep, the first one's ready. Now we're gonna put the second one here. Open, it's already open, so now we're gonna put this one here. We gotta make sure we're putting this in the right way. So here we go. Right. Yeah, you have to push a little slightly.
So it's completely stable. So before we move on, we have to also put the 1 terabyte NVMe SSD by Samsung. I think I don't have the screwdriver here.
Screwdriver. I have a screwdriver, please. Sure. Alright. Let's slowly open this up. This is really tiny, but really reliable.
And really fast. Here's how it should look like once you finish installing the processor and the RAM. Now we're just going to put the NVMe SSD on it.
Okay, so I'm back. So I just had to get the right screwdriver, so I'm going to be opening this.
So the place where I just opened up is right now is this place. This is where you put the NVMe M.2 SSD. We're going to be opening this up, and it just goes out like this. Specifically for this motherboard. Then there it is. Now we take this out like this, and we slowly put in the 45 degrees. It should either just like that. It should make it sound like that. I think there was some screws. Oh, here it is. Sorry guys, I forgot to take this screw. So then we have this screw.
Little tiny screw to put the NVMe SSD safely on its place. And we go slowly. Let's see. I guess it's gonna take a little time. So tiny, you gotta be careful. Really hard. Like this.
Yes, we got it now. Now we slowly put this like this. You don't have to tighten it too much. Then we have this again. You put this back onto the same place. Let me just show you guys how it should look like after you install the NVMe SSD onto the motherboard. So here we have the RAM here, and at the bottom we have the NVMe SSD, and we have the processor right over here. This is how it should look like. You just have to put this back on top of the SSD. Let's see, I forgot to, don't forget to peel this off, guys. Put this back here, slowly and gently, and screw this back. And everything's installed now to the motherboard. So here it is. putting this back. Okay, we're ready for the next step, which is to open up the PC case itself.
So here we have the Cooler Method 320L ARGB PC case, and it has two fans in the front, so it has really nice airflow as well. And we have the tempered glass here.
Okay, we slowly take these out. These are a little loose right now, but usually this type of cases you'll have to open up with a screwdriver. Right. Now we slowly take this temporary glass because they easily break, and
I'll just put like this one out. Gotta be careful with this.
Now that the PC case is open, you guys can see it's a really nice medium PC case. You cannot fit a full ATX motherboard. That's why we are using an M-ATX motherboard from Aorus or Gigabyte.
So here we are gonna put it back like this, and before we do that, we'll have to open back the other side of the case, because usually that's where most of the things are, such as the cables, hard drive slots, everything there. And the reason why I'm opening this the back of this is because this is where we're going to do the cable management, and this is where we're going to find the screws. The screws should be here. So many cables here, but we're not going to be using it all. So here we have the HD audio and some unnecessary stuff for this build. I'm trying to find a minute, I think. Where's the motherboard? Still going. Sorry guys, I forgot that that box for the motherboard is at the bottom of the motherboard. So yeah, we got these. And this is the SATA cable, and this is outdated. I'm not using this. Now we're gonna be slowly back this. Actually, we're not gonna be using the SATA cable this time, but and then we have the Aorus logo.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't know. Wait. Sorry guys, so I was trying to find the IO shield, but it looks like it already comes installed into it. So let's take out this plastic.
Here, where we take out the plastic. This feels really nice. Now that we have everything ready, we can slowly put back. Let me just see if I can do this. We slowly take this motherboard and
Alright, so we have the motherboard installed. Now we're going to be slowly putting in the screwdrivers. I mean the screws. Using the screwdrivers. And the other reason why I chose this specifically motherboard is because this motherboard has coolings, and when you plan to upgrade this motherboard, the CPU itself, to Ryzen 5950X 16-core processor, this motherboard will have no problems at all. So, and the motherboard is really affordable and can go up to 128GB RAM, which is really nice. Okay, now that the motherboard is secure inside the PC case, now I can easily show you guys. This is how it should look like once you installed the motherboard on the PC case. Okay, next. So we have the Corsair H100i RGB Pro XD AIO cooler, really nice. And the reason why I chose Cooler Master is because they are really reliable and stable. Like, you don't have to worry about it even after like a couple of years. So on the box there is a warranty paper, and there's some guides how you can install this. So here we have the first fan by Corsair. Open this up. Here it is. And yeah, there's two fans here. I'll go on to the radiator, which we have here. So you'll slowly take this off like this, and it is really nice, and you'll definitely fit. This is a 240mm radiator with two 120mm fans. Okay. Now that we have the radiator out here, we gotta be careful. We have to take this. This is where we're going to be controlling the RGB on the radiator here. So this is the screws that we'll be using. This is the screws for. So the AI cooler comes with this, right where you're going to be installing the Intel systems. But how it comes is, I'll just put this up right here. Don't get a little complicated and stuff. We'll just take out all the necessary parts that we will be using. Haven't installed the power supply, which is going to take, and the most importantly, we didn't even plug the CPU, the PC cables onto the motherboard yet. So, wow, so much stuff here. We're going to be using this plastic bag gone there, and so this is the radiator, the Corsair radiator. Let's see, let me just put this logo here. There we go. So now, now we're going to be installing the radiator. In order for us to do that, we'll have to slowly take this. You gotta be careful with the inside. This is where the water is, the liquid. So this is where we're going to take this. And I'll show you guys after how it should look like. But let me just quickly. So
So these are the screws that we're going to be using to the screws. And we're going to be careful here because it's going to do the job. Oh yeah, this is much better. I don't know what it was. Almost nothing. So I just saw a question someone asked in the live chat saying that is it a must to install the fans for the radiator? Well, of course it is. Otherwise, inside the radiator, that's where the water passes through, and it's really hot water. So what the fans does is they make sure the water is cool and not overheated, because that can cause a problem. So that's the answer to the question. So we're almost done, guys. I just needed a proper screwdriver to finish this job. Alright, we're almost done. And we have 2 more. And then we are ready to go. Even though the screwdriver is a little hard, it's better.
Now that we are ready, alright guys, this is how the fan should be installed, and this is how it should look like. So the Corsair fan should be facing down and the radiator is on top. So yeah, now we're going to slowly install the radiator to the PC case. USB Type-C, so they can go both sides. Okay, I should accomplish the cable on the side. Alright guys, we are nearly done. We just got put. Now we're going to be installing the power supply. So like I mentioned, this is an 850 watt Thermaltake power supply, 80 plus gold, so really reliable and really fancy, especially the RGB. But sadly, we're not going to be able to see the RGB since the bottom piece. Let me just show you guys. This part is not gonna be showing too much colors. Right now, we're going to. yeah guys, this is so messy, but this is what I'm saying. I recommend you guys to put all these cables in the back of the case. And once you have this ready, you'll have to put the fan. The fan, make sure the fan is facing downwards, not upwards, okay? Now, I'm slowly putting this in. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to take the slots for them. This is so much cables that I don't really want to show you guys, but there's only one screw, so I don't need to worry. Real Master did a good job on this. And let's slowly take this in here. Here is the hard drive place that we're not going to be using. Alright guys, we just finished up building this computer and now here it is how it looks like. So now we have the graphics card here installed, which is the RX 570 4GB DDR. I mean, yeah, it's just 4GB VRAM card. And the reason why we needed to get this graphics card is because the Ryzen 7 5800X disables some of the ports from the motherboard, which is the HDMI, and this was the reason why it wasn't posting directly from the motherboard to the monitor. So we plugged this graphics card and we used the HDMI cable to plug it both sides to the monitor and the graphics card. So anyways, this is how it looks like, and it looks really nice. And as for the Wi-Fi, we couldn't fit the PCIe because the graphics card was a little thick, and it just like went, the PCI slot just went under beneath us. So instead we just got the small card USB from Belkin, and yeah, it works fine. And yeah, this is the entire build.